on there with, like, fly to the moon, eat fire.
Yeah, snorkel with sharks, date a Playboy model. This is actually a list from your teenage years.
Right. Go out with hot chicks. All right, so on this list, it's a lot of little things.
Touch a boob. Again, Teenage Steve. Sports Tate's the first one to come to fruition.
I'll put something together at some point. About something.
There you have it, folks. Something about something, Tate.
Something about something, Tate.
And that is a reason to tune in.
I call him the Runnin' Runyon.
I appreciate some respect. He passed away in 2004.
Oh, God rest his soul.
He was a forceful and charismatic figure.
Cremated and buried in a mailbox.
Picked up. Imagine his family's got his remains in an urn that looks like a mailbox. Do you think they put the flag up on his birthday?
That line, do you think they put the flag up on his birthday, really got to somebody. I think it was on Twitter. They said that caused
a spit
a
take?
true spit take.
That is the biggest endorsement, Steve.
It's the biggest compliment we can get, is that you were drinking something and it came out of your mouth. That was about a man who, the general postmaster.
Yes.
What was his name? Something
Marvin Travis Runyon.
Travis Runyon.
As us, his fans, refer to him, Marvelous Marv, and to a lesser degree, Carvin' Marvin. Because as we found out last week, he would carve through those neighborhoods on his daily route.
Yeah, with precision.
I just sent you...
Wait, does the general postmaster, they don't actually deliver mail, do they?
Well, you work your way up. It's like any company.
Oh, so you don't...
Right?
So it's not like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you work at Coca-Cola,
yeah,
like you probably don't start bottling and become the CEO.
I don't know. You probably start out in the field. Now, I sent you a link because I don't think you got a good look at Marvelous Marv.
Did you email it to me? Or
I texted it to you.
Okay.
And...
Man, we are jumping right into this.
You need to take a look, because I don't think you're giving the proper dues to Marvelous Marv and his absolutely gorgeous eyebrows.
All right. I don't even know where my texts aren't updating on my phone. Okay, there we go. There it is.
Look at that smoking hot.
Whoa.
A lot of women would refer to that as a piece of ass.
Would they? Have you shown this to your wife?
Well, Steve, I want to stay married. I don't want her leaving me for a gravestone.
You think that's a possibility?
Hey,
if you were to show her that picture, that she would leave you for Marvelous Marv's gravestone?
Now, I think we might be staring down the barrel of yet another road trip, because Marvelous Marv himself buried Steve Arlington National Cemetery.
Boy. I can go see my my grandparents who were both buried there.
Yeah. Had I known that, I was just there. I was just there in May. Had I known the tried and true history of Marvelous Marv.
Check out the flight availability.
Oh, I already know. We can fly into Baltimore nonstop. We can be to Baltimore.
Oh, we can be back nonstop that night.
No question. This is Boston Part 2. Meet us at Arlington. We're throwing a bash at the gravestone of Marvin T. Runyon Jr.,
Boy.
2nd Lieutenant, U.S. AAC in World War II. Served on September 16th, 1942. Thank you, Steve.
I'm saluting him.
Saluting the memory. Was the 70th General Postmaster of the United States. He was also the chairman of the TVA from 1988 to 1992, as we all remember that glorious run over at the TVA.
We don't have to explain to you what that is, obviously.
Listen, if you don't know what the TVA is, you're on the wrong damn podcast. Okay?
So it is Sunday, July 21st, 2019, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast. Feels like it's been forever since we've been here to record. It's only been a week.
Yeah, it was the episode before is where there was like a 10-day gap.
Yeah.
You had the vacation you were on over in Hollyweird, visiting all the celebs.
Yep. All the celebrities that live in San Francisco.
Now that you've done it, I have a question to ask because I've been wondering this for years, ever since the first time I picked up a People magazine. Are they just like us?
You know, I discovered that yes, they were.
Wow.
They were all the celebrities that I ran into.
So you saw like Courtney Cox taking out her trash.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri getting a coffee.
Yep. Bob Barker playing golf.
Wow, but at his age, still hitting 100? The links.
Yeah.
Bob Barker's in his mid-90s, isn't he?
He's got to be. He's old as hell.
Wow.
You want to go see him? Should we travel back there?
Oh, let's just wait. He'll probably be next to Marv.
You think he'll be buried at Arlington
wasn't
next
he
to the general postmaster?
Wasn't he a vet?
I don't. Yeah, maybe. But I'm saying that. What are the odds that he would be buried next to the general postmaster?
This is like one of those videos you see of like a dog being best friends with a gorilla. Maybe Bob Barker, host of The Price is Right for a lot of years, was friends with Marvelous Marv back in the day. Now, Robert William Barker, 1923 born. So, yeah, he's 95. Wow. I don't see... I thought I could have swore he was a military. He served time in the military, but maybe not.
What year did you say he was born?
1923.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been that age.
He would have been 19 for World War II. I'm surprised he didn't go in. So maybe the dream of being able to see the Barker gravestone and the Marvelous Marv gravestone.
Is that a dream? Has that been a dream of yours?
I don't know how I missed this, Steve. It's literally the first sentence in the second paragraph. Barker enlisted in the United States Navy during World War II.
I was going to say I would be surprised if that guy didn't. He's an American institution, and to find out that he was like a draft dodger or something would have been pretty disappointing.
He hosted the Miss Universe, Miss USA pageants.
There wasn't a draft.
Not in Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam. So he wouldn't be a draft dodger. He'd be a war dodger. Sure. Yeah.
Which at that point, I believe, if you were going to college anyway, you were like exempt, right?
I don't know.
I believe you were you were able to not do it if you were going or planning to go to college. So, he worked part-time in radio while he attended college. Got out after the war. Wow. So there is a chance, Steve, that our road trip, well, as long as Bob bit the bullet. 95 years old, and you think he's out there hitting the links? I do. I have a feeling you just take him to the putt-putt course and tell him that he's, at the local country club.
Yeah, Bob, go around the loop-de-loop and through the Ferris wheel.
I just saw this windmill. No, you didn't, Bob.
Windmill. That's Ferris wheel. I don't know.
It's California, man. They got all the money.
Knows? Yeah.
They got Ferris wheels on their mini golf courses and Courtney Cox bringing trash out. Don't know why I'm set on somebody from the show Friends.
So I was in Nashville, Tennessee over the weekend.
Man, the city that never sleeps.
City that never sleeps. Yep. The Big Apple, as they call it
Wow.
down there. And ran into some diehard podcast listeners.
Well, I'm assuming you ran into people who were glad that you were there, but had to pay to see those other yahoos.
Yeah.
Just to see Steve from the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was that's how they described it. Ran into Deborah, who was a just absolutely lovely woman who was... she said that she started listening to the podcast when the side gig was on vacation.
Oh, wow.
Jumped in and was no doubt a little confused as to what we were talking about.
Sure.
So she went back and she started like from the beginning. And I think she said she was about 30 episodes in. Extremely complimentary. Just a wonderful person. Talked to her for a while on Friday night at an event that we were at. Ran into our friend Chris Pruitt, who...
the maniac himself.
Got the award for longest distance traveled for the Billboard in Van Wert, Ohio, back in April.
We were there in April. Yeah,
and gave us a gift that I have back here that I'll I'll pass along to you so you can open. Also, Trevor was there. Trevor Adams.
Trevor from Nashville.
Trevor.
Big fan of the podcast.
Yep.
Lesser fan of the side gig.
Yeah, of course. Trevor had also gave us a gift that is in that other box. Then I had the box under that showed up to the radio station last week. I have no idea what that is.
Is it to the podcast?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Addressed to the podcast.
Well, Steve, you know what time it is then.
Oh, how do I not have this ready?
We haven't had a chance for this in a little while, so I was surprised. Hell, I thought it would already have, been inundated in my mind a couple of times now.
It's been so long that I don't even I didn't even think to have it open because I'd completely forgotten about it.
Oh, man.
But ladies and gentlemen,
the institution of the podcast that demands this theme song, Steve, anytime we get mail.
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
I mean, seamless edits. Sounds perfect.
Listen, there were a few years I was a radio professional. So I know my way around.
So this one right here, it's in a long, like 2.5, 3 foot long mailing tube.
Look at that. So you had to slap this over your back.
I had to take this on the plane with me. Keep in mind, before you open it, that when I was taking it on the plane, it weighed much more. I'll tell you what the additional cargo was after you open it.
That reminds me of the flight back from Boston where you and I were waiting for airplane at, I don't know, what felt like midnight. And I had to try to continually wedge the life-size replica Cheers bar sign into the backpack I brought with 0 things in it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So this is from Chris Pruitt.
Chris Pruitt
said that he works for a like a printing company.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, come on.
So it's a long, looks like rolled up poster.
Yeah, if I ever get these rubber bands off, we're gonna have a hell of a time looking at what this thing is.
Now I know what this is, but I haven't seen it yet for this exact reason because I knew it was gonna be a bit of a pain.
But we have so many things for APS 4.0 where we're going to be limited on wall space.
Yeah.
I hate to cover up our faces
to run out.
from our own billboard, but we may have to, Steve. So let me unfurl this. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Speaking of billboard, hold on. Here, I'm going to take this and roll it out on the floor. This is beautiful.
Look at this. It's not just a poster, so I know what you're thinking is it came in a poster print. No, it is, what would you say that is, 3 feet by 6 feet?
I thought he said it was 3 by 5.
3 by 5, pretty darn close. Kyle, nice job. 3 by 5, look, and that is a replica of the billboard.
It is. It's the exact artwork. He said that he got in touch with Philip. Philip sent him the artwork.
Well, that is tremendous because what that reminds me of is somebody had tweeted at us or Facebooked at us last week, said that the true history of the mystery is where the hell is our billboard?
We have an update on that as well.
Yeah, we do. So, wow, that is, Chris, that is absolutely beautiful. That will be going up.
Believe
what? No. Here's what, for our very first live show, Steve.
We have 2 smaller versions of it as well.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So if you want to take one and put it up in your living room?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right over the bed. Right over my bed.
Your bed's in your living room?
Yeah. Listen, we live freely. That's awesome. I think that's our banner for our very first live show never.
It's a nice thick material too.
We cut a couple holes, maybe put some brass rings in there so we can put like some hooks so it never rips. And we hang that in front of our table like we're on Radio Row for the Super Bowl.
We need to see if there's like a Van Wert Days.
Oh,
over the summer or something.
A local,
maybe next summer we go there for
road fair.
Well, remember they had that. They have the fairgrounds there, right? Because it was like come and clean up the fairgrounds day, the day that we were there.
So we're thinking, oh boy, we're booking up 2020 because there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be going to Hartford City, Indiana.
Yes, for C.G. Johnson.
Now, there is the Van Wert County Fair. It looks like it's the last week in August. So we could make this year if you just want to tell Annette, clench.
Well, she can just come with us. I'm sure that they have doctors in Van Wert that can deliver babies.
When we offered her a couple of weeks ago to come with us to Hartford City, Indiana, possibly this summer, it was met with, the only word is disdain.
It wasn't...
she does not want an Indiana baby.
Well,
there is no question about it.
I think it's just, she knows that she's becoming a minor celebrity because of this podcast.
Sure. The radio show is, ooh, cool, look at us and that. But this podcast, yeah, she is an absolute celebrity.
So she probably just isn't ready for the
okay,
fame.
I have a year calendar for the Van Wert County Fairgrounds. Okay, so we can plan our next year.
So 1 week is the county fair, and then the next 51 weeks are open.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Steve. I'm staring down the barrel of maybe 20 events. So you and I might have to make this trip to Van Wert a staple of our weekend.
Still a waste of a fairgrounds because it's there 52 weeks a year. You'd think that they'd try to book it up more than 20 weeks.
So I think in commemoration of our visit this year in April, we just call it the 1 year anniversary of the celebrities in town. We go visit Springfest May 3 and 4 next year.
Of course.
But we got a relatively quick turnaround because the July 4th weekend is Old-Fashioned Farmers Day.
Are there new-fashioned farmers?
Well, I don't know, because you and I are now a team, because on July 5th we're competing in the Tug-A-Truck contest.
Oh! Okay, so it's just two of us pulling a truck.
Yep.
Through the streets of Van Wert.
And we're heading back later that month. We're going to have a booth set up at the train show.
Of course.
July 27, 28.
We're both big foamers.
But then the weekend after, that's our first, not one garage sale, not two garage sales.
Oh, boy.
Not even 100 garage sales.
Okay.
We're going to Van Wert for 127 garage sales the first weekend in August.
127.
That's it. That's the number.
Is that a reference to something, or did they just settle on a random number?
3 weeks after that is we're gonna have our permanent booth set up at the Van Wert County Fair,
of course,
Labor Day weekend, Steve. So we're gonna participate in the Demolition Derby that weekend, and then I'm gonna sit out there. There's thoroughbred horse racing. I'm gonna go ahead and laugh at that.
I think we need to get a condo there. Move the base of operations.
I think we could do. Okay. Have you?
You think there are any summer homes for rent in Van Wert?
Airbnb.com. I'm thinking a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe overlooking one of the muck ponds,
where the pond scum is made.
And you and I can just post up there all summer.
Mm-hmm.
So Van Wert, Ohio. Let's see what we can get into an Airbnb for, Steve. Oh, I mean, that's super affordable. Are you kidding me? Kathy's Place, $75 a night.
That's a bargain.
Charming guest cottage on a park-like setting with a pool for $79.
Whoa.
Unless you want to get nice, close, and comfort, which they do have a glamping shed. You and I could...
A shed, you say?
This is a 1920 guest cottage, Steve. Oh, yeah, you and I are doing this. Bathroom, updated kitchen. No pictures of the pool yet. Oh, look at that beautiful in-ground pool with a diving board.
Nice.
Could host a pool party there for all of our fans.
From our shed.
From our shed.
All right. Well, I guess we're going back. We'll put it on the list of booked dates.
2020 trips, and you're gonna have to listen. You're gonna have to work the side gig travel dates out around what we're doing, because we now have a return trip to Van Wert. We have Hartford City, Indiana, as well as the big trip to Arlington National Cemetery to see Marvelous Marv's gravestone right next to Bob Barker's
plot.
If he passes away in the next 8
Well, he probably has his plot purchased already.
You have to, right? It's irresponsible not to at age
you're 95.
I think Bob Barker seems like the kind of guy to me who his will's going to have like a shocker in it. Like one of Barker's beauties are going to get like $5 million. And it's going to turn out that he has a separate family, with Wanda, Barker's beauty.
That would not surprise me one bit. Not even in the least.
Let's see what is Bob Barker? Wow. Now what would you guess, Steve, today? 95-year-old Bob Barker. Now, obviously mostly known for his 35-year run as the host of The Price is Right. Mm-hmm. The 1970s, though, so take that into account. It's not like, the 70s money compared to what, Drew Carey's probably making now. What do you think Bob Barker's net worth is today?
$30 million.
Bob Barker. Robert Barker, age 95. $70 million.
Wow. I wonder how much he made. Does it say how much he made?
He was making up to $10 million a year hosting the Price is Right. And I believe, obviously, that was probably towards the end.
Yeah.
When TV rates were going up for hosts.
When did he...
2007 he retired from the Price is Right.
I feel like it was probably about 10 years ago. So 12 years ago, hosted
it for 35
boatload.
Years. Drew Carey took
and
over.
Let's all be honest, not to disparage the man, but there's no real skill involved in hosting that show.
No, but what's funny is when he stopped hosting the show, and you're going to see, you see it. Radio shows see it when they have fill-in hosts and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just not like the original, so people are upset. People genuinely hated Drew Carey for a long time because there wasn't enthusiasm. And
you just want a new car.
Yeah, and I think that should happen, which I think it's a testament to what Alex Trebek did or is doing and what Bob Barker did, because their taping schedules, they do like 30 shows in 4 days, and then they take 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
So I imagine by show 29 and 30, Drew Carey running out the weird mountain hiker game for the 5th time that week is having a little trouble getting up for it, you know? And I think that's the learning curve, right? Because
it's got to be.
Trebek does it, but Trebek also doesn't have to show literally any emotion.
Yeah.
You're reading cards and going over answers.
His job could be replaced. Like, he's reading off of his replacement. Because they could just show the question.
All they have to have is the buzz-in, or the light-up screen, and then the answer. And then either they would have to introduce, a correct ding or a buzzer to say no, and then it would go down the line for the the game writes itself. You just have Trebek there for a human element of it. But, I think with Bob Barker, it's a little different. You have to be excited. So Drew Carey used to doing TV show taping, which, intermittent taping schedule, and you do an episode a week or whatever. He's out there in front of, a bunch of idiots wearing their I Love Drew t-shirts or I drove from Florida to be here, sprinting onto the stage and hugging him. I bet that's a little hard to get up for that.
Yeah, I would. I think he's better now, though. I think it took him a little while to find his...
I don't think anybody hates Drew Carey now.
To find his groove.
We could make that a poll this week.
Team Bob or Team Drew?
Well, everybody's going to go Team Bob. I think the question has to be, is Drew Carey okay as the host of Price is Right? Which for him...
Just okay.
What does he care? He's getting reported high 7 figures. So let's say it's well over $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Or no, 7 figures would be 5 to 10. Sorry.
Yep.
So he's doing okay. He's probably doing better than what he had been before he took this show.
He's probably all right.
I'm not worried about Drew Carey and his network. Well, yeah, Bob Barker, you write it in stone. Hidden Family.
But we digress. Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
All right.
Package number 2.
Moving on, package number 2.
Did you have a story about why this was lighter cargo?
Is
that supposed to wait?
That will be included, because that one was from Chris, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this was from Chris Pruitt.
Yep.
The next box is from Trevor.
Oh, okay.
Trevor had given this to us. It was in a big padded envelope. Mm-hmm. But there was a little crossover between Chris's gift and Trevor's gift, so I was able to combine them into this one, just for ease of transport.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. I love mail time. I love it around here.
Got some weight to it.
Oh boy, we got a hefty box.
There you go.
Whoa!
Again, this is something I had to open it. I didn't want to be rude and not open it.
Thank you to Trevor for the cinder block.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, all of the minis, now this is a box just filled with candy.
It's just Candy.
And the mini Kit Kats were in Chris's box with the rolled up posters.
Yeah.
So if you opened up that box,
it would just...
the inside of the tube of posters was stuffed with. There had to be 100 of them.
He's done that to us before in Van Wert, Ohio. He gave us a gift, and the gift was stuffed on the top and bottom.
Yeah.
With dark chocolate Kit Kats. Oh,
so the dark chocolate Kit Kats, the mini ones, the 2-stick ones, are from Chris. And then in the bottom, you will see that there are a bunch of other candies in there.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and beautiful. You got rid of the garbage. You got rid of the yellow Starburst.
Yeah.
Just the Favor Red Starburst minis. Oh, that's beautiful. Johnny Apple Treat Chew from Candy Company.
Oh, Candy Company.
Yeah, you know it's legitimate. And of course, whoa, a twist on our favorite snack?
Yeah.
A snack to go, the Chucky C. Jr. roller.
Yep.
Rolled in a chocolate coating.
Charleston Chew rollers.
Oh, I've got to
may have been opened.
Wow, hard to tell. Oh,
pretty good, right?
Just as good as the original.
And then there were a bunch of the 4-stick Kit Kats in there as well.
Well, we're gonna have Kit Kats for eternity, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Nope, not.
Oh, they're there. Okay.
But yeah, so thank you guys. This was it was fantastic.
Wow.
It was.
Thank you so much to Trevor, Chris. The fact that anybody gives us anything is stupid.
It was a little bit of a. Oh, Chris also, or Trevor. Was it Trevor or was it Chris? Oh boy, I can't say it just yet because they had given me something too, and now everything is all jumbled in my head. Yeah, everything's all jumbled in my head.
Should we start sending you with like a sticky notepad?
Yeah, right.
So you can keep track. Because it's like when, the day after your wedding where you realize you have to write all these thank yous for gifts and you're opening the gifts and somebody has to keep track of who got you what. So your note, even though boilerplate, is a little more individual.
Hey, thanks for that.
Thanks for knives. I will use knives when I make dinner.
And then you add a little line in there about the event that you were at.
Yeah.
We had a great time at the wedding.
Remember food?
I've always had the idea of like a font on your computer that just mimics your handwriting. So, like you write down a series of words. Sure. From that, you scan it in, and then it can decipher exactly what your handwriting would look like.
Okay.
So then you just sit there and type, because obviously it's much faster to type all of this than it is to write it out by hand if you're writing thank you notes. So then when it prints it, it even throws in like a little mess up here and there, like where you meant to cross a T, but you instead crossed the L. Or it has like the little smudge mark. If your pen had a little glob of ink on it, it smudges it so it looks completely authentic.
Okay. You could even do that like after the fact too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm looking right now, there are 8 steps to create your own font.
Seriously?
Yeah. So you go, it's from a website. You download a template. You fill out the template with your handwriting.
So you
upload it.
So you basically write it all on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then
scan it in or whatever, and then it uploads it in. So then it would, because they always have those sentences that you would take in typing classes too to make sure you knew every, how to get to every letter.
Right.
And this, I'm sure it would be the same. So it would be able to tell like how you would connect your A's and R's and other letters. Yeah, we need to do that. We need to get a Steve font.
Yes.
And a Kyle font.
Yes. That way, when all these...
Unless it costs money.
Yeah. That way, when all these autograph requests come in...
Oh, God. Inundated.
Just type it. I mean, because that seems like that would be real easy to do. Instead of just signing something.
So it's off of... oh, boy.
How much is it?
Great. Let's try... Get started for
my
free.
my buddy Frank, right?
Yeah.
Frank is a...
Potty Mouth Frank?
Potty Mouth Frank. He does stuff with fonts. He is a font smith.
Oh, then what am I looking on calligrapher.com? You send a message to Potty Mouth himself. We'll send him like 3 sticky notes that you and I filled out with gibberish. and we'll have a font in a day. He's not busy.
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know.
You talked to him lately?
Yeah, it's too busy to make your bachelor party.
No, he was there.
Too busy to make your wedding.
He was not there. It's all right, though. We paid for the meal.
Yeah. Huh. Same party as Ray. Also didn't make it. And you didn't have to pay for Ray. So who's a better friend?
The card was still sitting there on the sign-in table.
I'm sure the apology note's in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, Frank. Yeah. We're all waiting. And it looks like, Steve, we have one more piece of mail. My God.
Wait a minute.
Are you kidding me? We burned through 30 minutes and all we talked about is Bob Barker and gravestones?
But we digress.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14.
Sally.
Dear Pig.
Thank you very much, Sally. Now, this one, I have no idea.
Perfect amount of time for you to get up, get a gift.
Yeah. No idea who this is from, although I have a clue because it is, attention, Steve, from the Steve and Pyle Codcast.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be from Timmy because Timmy would just give it to you in person.
That's true.
Seeing as he's been to every live show you've ever done.
Timmy drove to Nashville to see us there.
Man.
Timmy drove back from Nashville and got back faster than we did flying. So
Now, you don't happen to have
what we got?
our handy package opener.
Oh, just a random screw.
A random screw. Oh, wow. We
This is a
still
big
do need
box.
to get a branded Steve and Kyle podcast package/letter opener. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a big package.
Yeah, if somebody can get us one of those like daggers that cut this.
But next time we lose the tape, just a touch. 50% of tape. And
I
it'll
like
be-
the commitment to the Amazon Prime box that it was shipped in, even
Yeah,
though
that's reuse. I love it. Oh, my God. One more flap.
I'm excited.
So, yeah, it does not have a return address
to
on it.
send.
Listed as 3.3 pounds, Steve.
It doesn't say where it came from, though, does it?
No, I didn't know we could do that. How are these people better at shipping than we are? Because that's an issue you and I have had. It's like, well, we don't want to put our home addresses. One
Nope.
time I just did. All right. So to the Steve and Pyle Codcast, this is technically addressed to you, Steve. Do you want to...
Oh, I don't. You know, I just assumed that.
So
since
there is individuals. Hey, in true Kyle fashion, it looks like they used the in true Steve and Kyle podcast staff member fashion.
Sure.
It looks like they've used some paper from.
Did you just break that?
I hope not. That's just my wedding ring hitting it.
Oh, is this from S. Robbie Mack? Is it just a box of glass?
No, this isn't from S. Robbie Mack. He packaged it properly.
All right.
And I told you last week, S. Robbie Mack doesn't listen anymore.
So this is Steve.
Oh, wow, look
Hold
at
on.
this.
Hold on, I don't want to look yet because in case it's the same thing, I want to be surprised over on my end.
Oh, God almighty. Christmas morning with you must have been a thrill. Watching you unroll paper and not knowing where the hell your head is.
What? Oh,
Look
this is
at that.
beautiful.
That is amazing. Look at that. Looks like it's a nice metal, like...
Yeah,
Nice
it's
metal.
a steel, and it
This
looks
is-
like it's powder coated or painted.
The Old English D.
The Old English D.
The Detroit Tigers, the miserable at life Detroit Tigers, the worst record in baseball this year.
And I'm assuming you know exactly what this is.
Oh, that's the front end of a Jeep, Steve.
That is the Jeep, the 7-slot grill.
And that is
And the
skull
axles.
and crossbones
Yeah.
for the murder that takes place.
This is awesome. Who is this from?
That's a good question.
sent
There is
this?
one more thing in there. At least one more.
Oops. Okay, this one says both of you. Yeah, this is packaged extremely well. I'm very impressed.
A note would have been greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
I hope maybe there's something in there.
Oh,
Is there a letter, Steve?
I like this. APS.
Wow.
Steve and Kyle
That is
in a
beautiful.
like a laser cut circle. This is awesome. Dude, we got to build a studio.
Oh, God, here we go.
How's your house? You got any extra room? You said you got that room down in the basement.
Yeah, it's a bedroom. I just have to get rid of a bed.
That's fine.
Get rid of the bed.
You know what I'm thinking for down here?
Oh, God.
Knocking out that wall.
Just gonna... I gotta take care of
making this whole thing,
trash box.
whole thing a studio. Who is this from?
I don't know. So yeah, whoever sent this,
this is awesome
because this is absolutely amazing.
There's nothing unless we just missed it.
I am guessing at some point somebody's messaged the show and I've given them an address or you've given them an updated address. But yeah, do us a favor. Well, one, when you send us something like this, for crying out loud, you need to tell us who you are.
Yeah, this is incredible, man. This is so cool. I'm definitely hanging up the Jeep one out in the garage.
Yeah, that looks great.
And
the Old English D is going in my garage wall as well, where I'm hanging up a bunch of signs.
And then this one will be obviously earmarked for studio if that ever happens.
Man,
I like how they didn't commit to the number for APS. It just says APS because they knew very well that could be moving at any time.
We already got the package Crystal said she was going to send us. Thank you to everybody for sending us anything. Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure it out. Whoever sent this, please name yourself so we can properly thank you. But that is awesome. Outstanding metalwork. So yeah, we now have a disastrous studio again. We've got a 3-foot by 5-foot poster splayed out on the ground.
Oh boy, that looks like it would be the perfect size for a door. Like if we put up, instead of doing the glass door that we had talked about,
sure,
just do a regular size door and almost hang that up like wallpaper on the back of the door.
Oh boy,
that would be really nice.
Maybe cut a hole through our eyes so we can see out.
Or I got an idea that I think we've been going back and forth about countertop ideas.
Mm-hmm.
How about we do a wood countertop, but you ever see where like you then get epoxy?
Oh yeah, so it's like a clear hard surface over it.
Bury that in the epoxy.
Oh yeah. Well, we need a 3-foot. Well, that would fit darn close to the dimensions we would want.
Yeah.
It would probably fit if we wanted to, because we both know we're staying here permanently.
Fit right on here.
It would fit right on here. Right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. I love mail time, Steve. I absolutely adore it. Thank you to everybody for sending it, to Chris, to Trevor, to the mystery individual who sent us that beautiful metalwork. Thank you so very much, and please name yourself so we can thank you properly.
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
Now, we have to get to, we neglected it last week. We've got about 3 weeks worth of poll results that we have to quickly update.
Okay.
Boy, I'm trying to scroll back. Boy, we post a lot
of stupid stuff.
It's all stupid stuff, Steve. You know, I've got video of you eating bologna.
That went over pretty well. That video seemed to, a lot of people seem to enjoy that.
Okay. I believe where we were last at, do you use grape or strawberry jelly on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Now, again, I said back in the day, grape, but since been converted to strawberry. Yeah, strawberry is much better.
Well,
I'll still do a grape. Like if we had it in the fridge, it wouldn't deter me.
Right. But
yeah, strawberry is where it's at.
We have a divided nation, Steve. 51% say strawberry.
Whoa.
49% say grape. That's with that's over 300 votes on that.
Wow, boy.
The next question, I believe, has to do with your sister. Do you eat liverwurst more than 3 times per year?
Now, that one, I believe my sister may have been the only yes vote. Because it was like 99%, right?
With more than 250 votes. 96% say no.
4% said 4%. Yes.
And we got, to go along with that, we got a tweet. I'll read that. I'll find the tweet that we got this week after I read off the rest of these poll results, because somebody sent us a picture of bologna and liverwurst, and I wanted to vomit.
Now, to the 4%, I say, with the exception of bratwurst, anything that has the word worst in it, shouldn't be consumed, especially if the other half of the word is liver.
It's the old person's meal that people talk about.
It's like
liver and onions.
Yeah, it's Depression era food.
Isn't it liver and onions?
Yeah.
Does anybody eat liver and onions anymore?
Oh, if they do.
Have you ever had liver and onions?
No, I have no idea what it would taste like. Obviously, I know what onions taste like. Don't really care for them too much. But liver?
Mix it in with a nice side of liver.
Where can you even go to get that?
Well, I think you can buy liver in the deli case.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I went out for a meal, can I go somewhere and get liver and onions?
Look right below meatloaf.
Oh boy. So
it's not too far down the dial.
So we're gonna fight now, is what you're saying?
I don't know, honey. I can't decide tonight. The meatloaf sounds really good, held together by eggs and ketchup. But right below it, they've got a special on the liver and onions tonight.
All right, that's really... it. You're coming over for meatloaf night this week. What day do you have open?
I don't know. You got to go. You sure you have enough time to dig through the trash for your meat remnants and grind it all together? What's in it? Like roast beef, some ham?
No.
There's probably bologna in there.
No, we usually do like a chicken-based meatloaf.
Disgusting.
It's quite good. Like a ground turkey. Actually, it's turkey. Yeah, we do a ground turkey meatloaf.
Yeah, well, you want to be lean.
Want to be lean when you're eating your pile of leftovers formed into a meal.
After that, we have the hot dog hockey beer chug-off that we've talked about on October 4th or 5th. Thank you for the fantastic logo for that, Nikki.
When Nikki sent that, I cracked up because I was looking at it on my phone, so I had to kind of zoom in to get so you could see all of the detail that was involved. And while I love the portrayal of me in there, I think that it couldn't be better. But I'm scrolling around and I look at it, and then I see the October 4th or 5th.
Because we don't know which night hockey season actually opens.
I'm sure that it's one of those two.
So we placed the over-under at 10, Steve, for both beer and hot dogs. And
so that was, can we
consume over the course of a hockey game? Because that goes back to that's what we used to do when you and I would go out to the Friday night hockey games, and I would just drink a ton of beer and eat a ton of hot dogs. And that would be my Friday night.
One
we could bring it back. We should bring it back this year.
One night this year, we have to go out for one of the Friday night games.
All right, you get us a couple of tickets.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can't pay the $8.
I am not paying.
I've never paid for a ticket for that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to start this year. And then we'll have a little listener meetup. Everybody in the area can come hang out with us while I remember.
We can bring our poster.
Oh, we're hanging it over the railing.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be in the special whatever zone that there's a railing, and we just slap it over.
Yeah, it's the bring your own poster zone.
Yeah, and we'll throw some pins out or something. I don't know. Have a merch table.
Yeah.
Is that allowed? Or should we just
they
hawk our stuff?
Yep, they encourage that.
Listeners, not thinking very highly of us, Steve. How many beers could Steve and Kyle each drink? Less than 10. 69% said less than 10 beers over the course of a hockey game, Steve.
I'm with them.
I think I could do more than 10.
I think I could do more than 10. Obviously, light beers, but I don't want to do more than 10.
But that's the thing. You have to try.
Yeah. Now, but did we... So there was nothing in there about how many hot dogs could we eat?
That's the next poll.
Oh, I didn't know there were two separate polls.
Yeah, and a hot dog beer drinking competition. How many hot dogs could Steve and Kyle each eat? More than 10, less than 10?
More than 10.
62% said less than 10.
Oh, no way. Those hot dogs at those games, first of all, they're so condensed and smushed down.
Yeah.
Because they've just been packed into those heat bags. They're nothing.
Yeah. Well, they've been boiled.
You can eat them in 2 bites.
Yeah, and it's what Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut try to do to their hot dogs by... And that's what the type of hot dog we're going to have there, because the bun is already soggy and damp because it's been in a tin foil right out of a boiled hot dog.
Or shot out of a cannon at you or something.
Yeah, with just now toppings everywhere.
I think my issue would be, individually, I think I could do the 10 beers if I had to.
Okay.
I could do the 10 hot dogs if I had to.
Sure.
Combine them, though, I don't think I'm doing that.
You don't think you could do it?
I don't know. I would have to just go back and forth, like one hot dog, and then chug a beer.
Yeah.
One hot dog, chug a beer, and I'd probably hit a wall at 5.
As I quickly age, like rapid descent into aging after having my son, the one thing I think I can hold on to is overeating and overdrinking.
Overeating, again, no problem there. I'm good with that. Drinking, though, it has fallen off so much for me in the last 7 or 8 years.
But with let's call it 6 to 8 weeks to prepare. Like you and I pick a date.
Oh, so you can. So I got to train for this.
Well, I used to do this because the month of March for me, I'd have my birthday, St. Patrick's Day, NCAA basketball tournament. So in February, I would start building my tolerance up. So I just have a few during the week here and there, and start preparing myself for just death come the month of March.
Well, with my child's birth less than 8 weeks away, that's probably a good time to take up binge drinking.
And it begins, folks. And this ties in beautifully to the next two polls. Will the podcast be around after Christmas 2019? I've stood by this.
Your prediction.
I think the podcast is dead by the holiday season. With more than 240 votes, Steve, 80% of the audience says yes.
Oh, boy. They're just wrong.
They're going to be wrong. I will prove them wrong. I'll make sure they're wrong when I quit.
So you're going to quit. You're going to just walk out on it.
I can't be.
I thought it was going to be my fault that the
can't be
podcast
wrong.
ended. Or my daughter's fault.
Well, it's the majority of the reason I'm walking out.
Because we're having a daughter?
Ugh, can't
you're
handle you and
anti-female?
Can't handle your nonsensical stories and I had to change the diaper. Can we delay an hour? That's right. Inept parenthood. That's why I'm quitting. I stand by it. Listen, I think it's like 79% of people disagree. I just think
we're
schedules colliding are going to make it hard.
I don't know. I think we'll be all right. Now, at some point, we have to record our
evergreen,
our generic podcast.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, any one of them is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, Bob Barker could die tomorrow. This podcast is still...
I mean, not surprisingly, we're not breaking down the hot topics of the day.
Yeah. The Fast Five is the most relevant thing, and you seem hell-bent on phasing that out of the podcast as a whole.
No, it's just the last couple weeks we've been pressed for time. Well, hell, last week it took us an hour to start recording because we were trying to upload a video to social media.
And again, I say this with all sincerity because I do believe it's going to struggle with 2 babies involved and traveling, which, again, your traveling's light, but it still happens. It will creep up on us in the holidays, and that's why I've brought up ideas to change and alter our podcast schedule a little bit to make it a little bit easier on you and I both. Which brings us to the last poll this past week, Steve. How do you pronounce Nevada? This was a very brief discussion.
I said Nevada, right?
Well, I forget which way you said it, but it brought up the discussion of how is it supposed to be said. It's the same thing as Oregon, Oregon.
Yeah, because I say Oregon.
I think everybody says Oregon,
but I think I also mentioned last week the only time I've said Oregon is when I'm referring to the old video game Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, but wouldn't you say Oregon Trail? Oregon Trail?
I don't know.
Oof.
But
I don't know if I want to slap 2 pronunciation polls in a week up on our social media.
I think I'm Nevada, but Nevada is also fine too. I don't.
Well,
do we have anyone?
The internet
there?
disagrees. The internet says it's Nevada.
Okay,
that is the official Google determination of how do you pronounce the state Nevada or Nevada.
We need all of our Nevada listeners.
Yes. According to Time magazine, apparently the only acceptable pronunciation of the state is Nevada. Okay. Pronouncing the state's name incorrectly can draw ire among residents, especially if you're a politician, is what it says, Steve.
Well, I'll be sure to correct it when I start running for office.
There's also a WikiHow. How do you pronounce Nevada? 4 steps with pictures.
Is there?
Feels like it's a one and done as far as I'm concerned.
There's only 3 syllables. How could there be 4 steps?
Nevada. Yeah.
Nevada. Okay. All right,
Nevada
I'm fine. I'm not
cross out.
I'm not upset about that in the least.
The poll results went. It's closer than I thought with more than 250 votes. 54% of the audience.
Oh boy,
says Nevada. So they are correct, but there's in the high 40% of people listening who are saying it incorrectly,
including me.
And I place those people who, if you come up to me now and say Oregon or Nevada, the same people who type out must've, MUSTOVE, OF.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. Yeah. It's
Boy, I don't know if I want to put that on the poll because I think I'm going to be hurt.
Must have?
I think no. I think the number of people that say it or pronounce it that way is going to make me upset.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So I'm going to go ahead and avoid this. So yeah, that catches us up on the polls at Steve and Kyle.
You know what else bugs me is what is it? Is it may? Because it's might as well.
Yeah.
Like, I might as well do this instead of that. But people do say may as well.
Oh, no. Leave my existence forever. I don't know. If you say that, I'm not going to be okay with you. Ever. So that catches us up. I don't know. I'm having trouble with that. On the polls, again, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook and Twitter. You can find the polls there every week that we post. We decide. I like this way we do it now, where we string them together.
Yeah.
Just stream of consciousness polls. So you can find those there on our social media sites. I don't think we can do them on Instagram, and quite frankly, I'm not going to count 3 avenues. So deal with it.
That would just be. 2, yes. 3.
Come on, God, do I have 3 phones?
What do I want? A part-time job?
I got to look at all of them at the same time. I got a computer and a phone. I need a work phone now. Need a podcast phone.
Here, we got the iPad here.
Oh yeah, that'll pull up the poll results in a GIF.
I didn't tell you, we got a new iPad a couple of weeks ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah. We have like a family iPad upstairs that I could easily bring down here every day.
Oh, no, we need to run this thing literally into the ground. When this iPad is dead for good, it's going in, we're burying it.
I've already deleted like every app that was on here except for the one that we need because that's all it's capable of doing.
Like a family pet, when the iPad finally croaks, Generation 1... we're burying it in your backyard by your shed.
This is a Gen 1 iPad mini. Like 6 years old at this point.
Going through social media, I also see, Steve, you posted you saw Netflix, the way I've named the first sidecast in the Steve and Kyle Lispin Network, and I know that's a repeat, the Living in Style Podcast Network.
Yeah.
With Sports Tate, T, the number 8. It's caught on?
Well, kind of. In this case, I was just scrolling through and I was in like the sports documentaries portion of Netflix.
Sure.
And there was a motocross documentary called Unchained, but it was spelled UNCHA and then a chain link that looks like the number 8.
Yeah.
NED.
Unchained.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unchained.
The untold story of freestyle motocross. So it didn't catch you enough to stop and watch.
No. No, that was not.
Doesn't bode well for my podcast then, does it? And on that note, stay tuned for this Friday.
Yeah, are you doing a new sports
I think so. I've got.
What are the hot topics?
I've got a couple of burning. I'm glad you asked, Steve, because I've been on my notepad on my phone when I listen to a lot of sports radio at work, and I talk about a lot of sports radio and sports in general with coworkers and a friend of mine. And I've got a few things that have been bubbling lately. Mm-hmm. So this week I'm going to talk about the UFC weight classes and the health issues. There's a video that went viral last week about a woman trying to make weight before a UFC pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was kind of hard to watch a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm also going to talk about
doing what they normally do where they're dressed in the sweatsuits, not like a sweatsuit.
Well, they didn't show that. So when she's about to be weighed, she's wearing, the skimpiest thing you can find because you're trying to make weight and she's trying to cut as much. But visibly shaking, had to be held up and grimacing while she's on the scale because that day, I'm assuming, hasn't done anything food-wise or health-wise to her body.
It can't be good for...
It's not, Steve. It's terrible.
Well,
it's terrible.
Especially the day before you're going to fight.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. So I've got a little something for the UFC and that. And then I also want to talk about the Russell Westbrook trade, which that may or may not get bumped because it's not exactly timely. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about what defines an NBA superstar.
Oh, boy.
Is he a superstar? Listen, this is a sports show.
I mean, these are some Tates.
Yeah, there's no question. And then also I'm going to bring in the first edition of Rate My Take, hashtag Rate My Take. People sent in a handful of takes.
R8MYT8. Rate My Tate.
Yeah, anybody who sent those in. Now, Grant, I want everybody to know I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to do a couple of them. We'll talk about...
How many did you get?
Oh, boy. I had copied 3 to my notepad, but I know there has been a few more I'm going to have to go through. We've gotten some in. Please text those in or tweet those in. Hashtag RateMyTake. Facebook, Twitter at Steve and Kyle, or 424-30-SK-POD. Text those in or leave a voicemail, and we can play that there on the podcast. Again, Rate My Take. So, yeah, I think another one's coming this week, Steve.
Nice.
Until you can get your something about something Tate off the ground.
Something about something Tate coming sometime.
I'm going to try to do one every few weeks to kind of supplement the podcast feed. And if there's weeks where we go short on this podcast, it can give a few people, a few people who don't hate sports, which this is a pretty distinct non-sports show here that we do on a weekly basis. A little alternative for everybody. So that'll be dropping. I think Friday is a good time. I did the last one on Thursday, but that's because I was excited. I'd recorded it the night before, and I really wanted it to get out to the masses. This time, I think I'm going to try to hold off, and I'll release that on Friday.
Okay. This is coming up. This upcoming weekend is the first week. It feels like the first weekend all summer that we have had absolutely nothing to do. Nothing at all. We might go up to my in-laws' place.
Wow. Oh, take the trip up the coast. Okay.
Yeah, for nephew's birthday, like a little get-together.
Very good.
But we might just do nothing.
Wow.
And it's incredible knowing that.
Now I have a question for you, because I'm glad you brought up this weekend. I have a wedding to attend this upcoming weekend, and it's on a Friday, which I get. That's a thing now. It's cheaper to do it on a Friday.
I love Friday weddings. Guess you don't.
It's Friday at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me you think that's okay.
I'm fine with it.
Well, now, granted, you're a guy who goes into work at 5 a.m.
Yeah, but even acknowledging, acknowledging that most people have to take off from work.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't think it's... run the ceremony a few hours later?
Who enjoys going to work? It's a reason to take a day off.
Well, okay. I mean, when you look at it that way, sure. Oh, you get to leave, whatever. Yeah. But I'm talking inconvenience level. I think 3 p.m. I think it's too early.
Look, I mean, if this person is close enough in your life...
No.
Then I understand your frustration.
Listen, I love a wedding. I love it. Because I track the minutes.
Ceremony at 3?
Ceremony at 3.
Reception at, 5 probably? 4?
6.
6, okay, so you got the little gap.
Too much of a gap,
into the night, though?
Yeah, and it's... If you're leaving that much gap, at least do it at 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 5, run the cocktail hour right afterwards and feed that right into dinner.
Is it local?
Yeah, it's in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
It's here. It's just, again, I think 3 p.m.'s too early. Now, again, I love a wedding.
Yeah, because I think that the cocktail, it should be a 4 o'clock wedding.
Maybe cocktail hour is 5.
Cocktail hour 5.
Yeah.
Dinner 6.
Now, I've had Katie
11.
thinks I'm griping about it and this and that, which...
Katie is a saint, by the way. Because someone could give you $1 million and you'd complain that you have to pay taxes on it.
Could be $2 million.
Oh, I mean, you got $1 million. Seems like you got a lot. That's all you gave us.
What am I supposed to do with this? Can't even buy a $2 million house.
That's accurate.
Thanks. I guess. But no, and I say this sincerely. I'm looking forward to it, Steve, because I enjoy a wedding reception.
Like
I enjoy a wedding reception. I enjoy getting... I love it. I absolutely love those. Have a few too many drinks. Get out on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
But 3 p.m. on a work, that means I got to leave work by 1 o'clock.
Yep.
It's inconveniencing my whole day.
Got to put your fancy clothes on.
Got to drop the kid off somewhere.
Of course.
I don't even know where. Might just be the side of the road with a sign on his head.
Bring him here.
Oh, yeah, that'll go well.
We'll stick him down here in the basement for a couple hours.
Drop him off at 1:30. Text by 1:40. Hey, he's crying. Yeah. Man, what do you want me to do?
What do I do with him?
Rapidly approaching, Steve. Very, very rapidly approaching for you. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah?
I really am, man.
Yeah, because you got here this morning, And the first words that you said to me,
first words
when you walked in the door was, because I don't drink coffee. I haven't drank coffee for like 3 years now.
Gave up after the medical issue, right?
Yeah. And you walked in and you said, "You'll be drinking coffee by October."
I did. I didn't even say hello.
And I said, "Rough night?"
They come and go, man. They come and go. Some days are better than others. Some nights are better than others. Some days you're going to wake up and you're going to realize the will to live is dwindling. And coffee might be the only thing that draws you out of that stupor. I think you're on the road. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know you tried to avoid it, but I think, if you have a long night and you're up a few times and you have to get up for work, which you are especially early, even for normal work, you're up earlier than that. I don't think, a matcha tea is going to give you the same giddy up for work that Monday as a cup of coffee would.
It's not going to take much. I know that, because I still, like, every morning when I'm at work, everyone else is drinking coffee. I love the smell of coffee.
Yeah.
The smell of it brewing.
Oh, sure. The beans.
It smells so good.
Yeah. There's that sound of the maker when you do it at home mixed with the smell.
So I'm always like, maybe I'll just have a little sip. Because the only coffee that I've had in the last 3 years was when I was making, I made like some kind of smoothie one day, and it was, and it had some cold brew, like the Starbucks cold brew in it.
Yeah, okay.
And it was excellent. And there was like a little peanut butter in there too.
Ooh.
Oh, it was good. With
that was your first dabble,
banana.
Or your only dabble of coffee
Yeah.
in years. And could you taste the coffee more than
definitely.
everything else, right? Yeah. But it's because it's a taste you had acquired. You were drinking coffee on a regular basis.
I was drinking a
years,
lot of coffee,
right?
probably 4 cups of coffee every morning. It was just way too much.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how it, because I would always crash in the afternoon.
Sure.
And I sometimes still do nap in the afternoons. But it was bad.
That's what was causing it, or a direct correlation there. I think you'll be back to it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So by October. So
that'll give you 4 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks into my child's life.
Yep.
I'll be back on the coffee train.
Sometime in October. So anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Ish. Now, and again, you don't have to answer this at all. We never directly approached it. I'm sure Annette and you have decided how she's going to feed the baby girl.
Yep.
Is it going to be formula based or
breastfeeding?
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're a bit off the hook then, because middle of the night
there's not a whole lot that I can do.
You can't do any. And now for the first few nights, and I'm not saying this for an attaboy, I didn't know what to do because Katie was getting up, and I would feel bad, so I would just get up with her and go sit in the bedroom with her and kind of like lay down on the floor.
Yeah. So you didn't do the bassinet in your room?
No. Day one, night one, started in his own room in order to kind of get that in our minds, and eventually, his mind. This is his room. This is his space. This is where he sleeps.
We're doing bassinet in the bedroom.
In the room.
Yeah.
And that's just as common as what we do, I think, as what we did. And honestly, it's probably easier.
I think that our way of thinking is it'll be a slight bit more convenient.
Yeah. And one of the reasons we didn't was, our dogs sleep in the bed with us, and they, get up in the middle of the night and they shake if they do, and didn't want anything to affect that. Like if he's going to sleep, I want him to be able to sleep without any interruption, and if I get up and go to the bathroom and he hears, the doors and flushing, whatever,
right.
I don't want anything to disrupt that. It just, no thank you. So that's why we decided to do it that way. Yeah, so you will be woken up by the cries.
I think so.
But there's nothing you can do, right?
I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, which much to Annette's dismay, it bugs
you'll
her.
Notice this though.
I mean, I'm
in the room
sure, because like she's if I'm a really heavy sleeper, she's the complete opposite end of the spectrum. She's a very light sleeper.
Okay.
So the dog just going
won't wake you up.
Will wake her up instantly, and I am still dead to the world.
See, I'm that way. I can sleep. Now, how did you do? Now, we had some pretty bad. Well, you were gone, so I guess it doesn't matter. We had some pretty bad thunderstorms.
We had bad storms last night.
That's true.
I remember waking up at one point because I remember looking out the window and seeing a bright flash of lightning, but I was back to sleep, no problem. But Annette said she was up for quite a while that was all going on.
Okay, so you slept pretty good, but also, you traveled all day, so that affects it as well.
Pretty beat.
But the night before would have been the true question.
Yeah,
because
she
the night
said she
before
was up.
really
She was
loud.
up a lot. There was some bad storms. House around the corner had a massive limb fall right on their car in the driveway. But
Now
you were in a flying trampoline zone, weren't you?
we were lucky enough. Now the National Weather Service said there was 80-mile-an-hour gusts about 40 feet from us. We had zero damage, nothing near us, but one street over in our subdivision, a house was leveled.
Seriously?
Yeah, a trampoline was in a power line.
Wow.
The local news crews were literally one street over, and
Did you put on a Stephen Kyle shirt and go over there?
the only reason I knew it stormed was because I was up letting one of the dogs out, and it started raining.
So you didn't get on the news.
I didn't make the news. I didn't even know they're there. I wake up and I see text messages. Saturday morning. It's like 9:30 after I'm up for a while, and like, oh, you got to turn on the news. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And internet was out, and it's like I can't watch the news. Oh, all this storm damage. So I see online as I'm scrolling through. There's a bunch of posts from local news, a street over, and I made a joke on the local informed page.
Jeez. Of course you did. Of course you had to be the yuck jokester.
Listen, somebody posted a clip of one of the news people there at the street over, and they're wearing jacket and a baseball hat, which I don't care, that's fine, but I just made the comment, said she means business because she put a hat on. News people don't put hats on unless it's serious. And somebody commented back later that, oh, a house is gone, but sure, let's focus on a hat.
You just can't leave well enough alone, Ken.
And this is the morning nut hut lady usually who's there, hey, we're over at the
new trampoline
petting
park,
zoo, and this goat's eating my fingers. Whatever, made up, and she's young, pretty female. So she's got a baseball hat on to show the serious nature of this storm damage. I think it's funny. You can't see the humor in that?
I don't know if there's a direct correlation between her baseball cap.
Oh, there absolutely is, Steve. She's not putting the baseball hat on at the petting zoo. She's not putting the baseball hat on at the trampoline park.
Maybe she got called in last minute because of the severe weather and just threw a hat on. Didn't have time to do her hair. So you can't resist the opportunity.
It's a good joke
to be nutty.
It's just an observation that I thought was funny, and I like to share those observations.
It's definitely
not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Not a joke. I don't want to.
There wasn't humor.
I'm not doing a yuck Seinfeld routine. I get it, but I thought the observation was funny, so I decided to point that out, and people thought it was funny. It got some reactions of the laughing face, and
I can only imagine the amount of scuttle that's going on the informed page these days.
It's been a mix of people congratulating themselves and other people for offering food and ice and refrigerators, and a mix of is everybody okay, and then different churches offering coffee and donuts. It's the opposite of what I want to see there. I want to see some breakdowns and some real shenanigans that I can chime in on. So this has been a real downtime for me the last few days.
When things are at their worst and people are at their best, that's when you were the saddest.
In a true upset, though, of this page, where the last time an incident happened where a house burned down, and there was a GoFundMe posted while the house was burning, and people pointing out, like, are we sure this is like, are you a representative of this family or whatever? And it ended up getting taken down, and there was some like that. That's what I strive for. That's what I'm looking for.
You want the total chaos.
Yeah, and so I'm scrolling through right now. Anybody have an internet outage? No, you're the only one. Like, I could say that, but I wouldn't, because that's rude. I'd like to help clean up efforts. Oh, okay. I'm sending them a thank you card.
Well, just do it then.
A real savior.
That's the thing about those kind of pages, is that if you really do want to help, you can just go out and help, because you don't need someone to say, hey, I need help. You can drive around and see where the tree is falling down, take your chainsaw, start cutting. The only reason people are posting on there is because they want other people to see that they're volunteering their services. Mm-hmm. They just want people to know that, like,
I'm volunteering.
That's a good guy right there.
Yeah.
That's like people who do charity work and all they talk about is how much charity work they do.
Now,
like, you could just do it without telling everyone.
Oh, sure. There's no need, but it's the same people wearing their, you've talked about it a number of times, wearing their marathon medals in the airport.
Yeah.
You want people to know you ran the marathon.
Yeah. I still remember one year flying back from Disney from the marathon, and there was a woman walking down the aisle on the plane, and she had like 4 medals around her neck, and she's carrying a bag and pulling a suitcase, and the medals are clang, 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 and she kept saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, they're so loud. I'm sorry, they've just made that noise again. I'm sorry, they're so loud." And I just said, "You could take them off.
Yeah, put them in a bag.
You look like an idiot." Because the only time that wearing a medal looks appropriate is seconds after you've crossed a finish line.
Sure.
And by the time you get out of the little corral at the end of the race, if you're still wearing it, you look like an idiot.
Yeah. Now, can I borrow your cord so I can play us some audio quick?
Yeah.
It's a very short clip, Steve, but this is the content that I joined, and I'm on the Informed page 4, and I want to let the entire audience know what they're missing out on. Mm-hmm. So this was posted 9 hours ago, so middle of the night.
Oh, boy.
With the caption, I was there first off when it happened. Deadly, but we was careful. Live footage when it started.
Oh, that sounds pretty intense.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Between 20th and 32nd, there's...
That was it?
That's it.
Yeah, it's a 3-second loop.
Between 20th and 32nd.
And there's a flashing light.
Like a flashing traffic light?
I don't know.
Tell me about some of the comments.
Well, this was the orange sky we saw looking out our backyard.
One more time?
This was the orange sky we saw looking out our backyard. Was weird.
And the clip again?
There's between 20th and 32nd. There's...
Oh.
It woke all my kids up, too. Stay safe.
Boy,
this has to be a joke. This has to be a joke right here.
Bunch of amateur news reporters on the scene.
I don't know. Okay, how did your video that you posted? We thought we'd get we thought you'd go viral. Was that last year or 2 years ago? Where you saw
the great blackout?
Yeah, and it got picked up. Like 3 people go, "Oh, neat." This clip, I just played you with a blinking light. Hi, I'm with local news channel. Could we use this footage? Yes.
3 seconds of a man saying between 20th and 32nd.
Somebody put where and when. Oh, the video's posted 9 hours ago. He says it in the clip where he was. But you know what, Steve? I'm an adult now. I'm growing up. I'm changing.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't put any comments. There's another guy comment below that offering use of generators. Also have extension cords. A lot of people do. Thanks, Brandon.
Stores do too.
Yeah, good God. They're not running out of extension cords. Yeah. They'll be fine. Extension cords in this instance are useless because power's out.
Well, no, you just string enough of them together, you run them to the next town where they have power.
Maybe I'll offer use of like my charger cable, but not an outlet. Hey, everybody without power, need to charge your phones? I have a cord.
I think you should offer something that is completely not helpful, like a fish. My brother caught a 2-pound bass yesterday. He said he could have it. People got to eat, right?
Somebody posted a link of a couple of people in a church parking lot. It looks like they're trying to steal a pool that blew away. Listen, man, you're missing out. So, yeah.
I do kind of miss it.
I think my contribution of talking about the hat was indeed warranted.
Oh, that's right. Your joke. Your comment.
My observation, Steve.
Your stand-up yucks.
Now, let me see, because usually this stuff gets deleted. There's no hijinks allowed. Yeah, I mean, come on. She's wearing a costume. She's wearing an absolute costume with a hat that doesn't fit her head. And it's, Miss Perfect.
Yeah. All right, I'm coming around.
It's somebody posed.
It does kind of. It's similar to when the politician is campaigning. And he comes out.
Right.
He's got his sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, because you're in Iowa now.
And he's got his jeans on.
Yeah, because, you're in the Midwest. Now, when you go to New York, you put the suit back on.
Yeah, of course, because those are suit-wearing people there.
Yeah, but now here you're going to be eating, your meat pie.
Yeah, you're going to be at the county fair.
And drinking a Pabst out of a Solo cup, because that's what you do when you're in Iowa. When you go to New York, you drink a craft brew with your pinky up in your suit at the local business bar.
Yeah.
And this lady came all the way down to she's wearing rubber boots, Steve. It didn't rain a foot. It didn't rain a foot. There's no water on the ground.
And she's in a house.
There's but no, okay. No, this is me. It's me being a jerk. Oh, how dare big bad Kyle. So I said, it's serious because she put on a hat. News people don't put on hats if they don't mean business. And the second comment was, a woman's home was destroyed, but let's focus on the news lady's hat. Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah, you focus on what you want to focus on.
Well, just remember, guys, in between 20th and 32nd. Those roads intersect with a lot of other roads, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know, because we live here. So I'm glad he narrowed it down, and that was on the news. Crying out loud. But back to... But
we digress.
We digress. I did want to mention, in lieu of the new sports date dropping in the podcast feed this Friday, thanks for everybody who listened to the first one. The numbers were a lot higher than I expected. I don't know how many actually listened. I don't really care. But all positive comments.
Now,
no negative feedback, really, which, again, and I mean this sincerely. If there's something that you don't like or that you'd like to see done differently, let me know.
This will be the true test, though.
Oh, it's going to cut in half.
Because everyone downloads episode number 1.
Yeah.
I remember when we first did this podcast, we had like 50 billion downloads because everyone thought that it was going to be a...
different circumstances.
Everyone thought that it was going to be a...
expose.
A Kyle tells all,
yeah.
or a Steve tells all.
And we really saw...
I think the first thing we said was, hey, if you're coming here looking for gossip... not gonna get it.
Yeah, and it wasn't referenced after that, and that made people more mad. Mm-hmm. And then the numbers reflected that.
Yeah,
so forth going on. So thanks to everybody who listened to that and downloaded that. And in light of that, a couple of new, dare I say it, gorgeous designs made by our dear friend Zach Ruddick were posted up to the merch store, steveandkyle.com/merch. Find it there. One that I had been pining for I don't know how it didn't come out of the woodwork beforehand, a shark awareness t-shirt, because as everybody knows, I have been trying to spread the news that they are on their way. The invasion is happening. Our coastlines are first. The land is next. Okay?
So they're going to be on land?
Oh, listen here. If you want to deny evolution, that's a whole other podcast. That's how this works. You're going to start seeing, the next few years, you're going to see a little more fins on the bottom. Those turn into feet.
Okay.
And next thing you know...
in the next few years...
Listen, man, they've been around for millions of years. If it's ever going to happen, it's now. They're eating all that plastic and all the radiation from the Chernobyl. And then they keep swimming.
Chernobyl.
Yep.
Right.
And then the Japanese one that happened that got seeped into the ocean. That seeped into the ocean.
Yeah,
Sharks are evolving.
I don't know how much Chernobyl seeped into the ocean.
All right, listen, I'm not here for a geography lesson.
Well, I mean, it's pretty critical to your story, your tale here that you're telling.
Listen, it's all in the water. If you're swimming in the ocean, you're asking to die. And if it's not the sharks, it's the radiation that's going to get you. So our dear friend Zach drew up a design for you for shark awareness. So check that out at steveandkyle.com/merch. Now, he did have a front and back idea. We can't print on both sides.
Can't do it, yeah.
Because he had just a beautiful, dead-on plot output of where the sharks have attacked on the U.S. coastline in the last year. And you don't want to see that.
Have we asked if Zach can do a design? Because I know we were asking Philip and it never happened, but I still want the design for Steve and Kyle Nature Camp.
We need
Zach. If you could go back,
there's
it was
no
probably 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and they're in the description of one of the episodes. It was for Steve and Kyle Nature Camp. and we gave an exact description of what we want that shirt to look like. If you could do that, it would be greatly appreciated.
Nikki made her design.
Oh, that's right. Nikki did make a design.
We welcome any and all artwork and design work. So the Steve and Kyle podcast, Beach Patrol is what this shirt says. Below it, friends don't let friends swim in the ocean. Sharks tear families apart.
I think that it should just say literally right after that.
Literally in parentheses. And the most recent idea, and I absolutely love this. I'm going to be that guy very soon. I'm going to be wearing my own merch.
You're ordering your own merch.
I'm doing it. Zach drew up what I selfishly call my favorite design on our website, and it's Sports Tate with Kyle, the hottest takes in podcasting, and it is me screaming into a microphone with a finger pointed in the air, because that's how you make points when you're dropping takes. Mm-hmm. You're finger gunning everybody, and you're sticking them in the air, and everybody know it's your turn to drop a take, not their turn. And my head is replaced with a volcano because as I've said, and I say on Sports Tate, I'm a take volcano.
Yeah.
And you know, every so often the volcano's got to let out that burgeoning take.
Sure. Yeah.
And it explodes.
The magma's got to turn to lava somehow.
So again, check out StephenKyle.com/merch. And also badger Phil a part for designs that he's been working on for a while. Have him get those going. We'll post anything Philip sends us. And the same pretty much goes for Zach. Again, StephenKyle.com/merch. Get your stuff there. Right now they're running 50% off on stickers, mugs, and all that.
Man, I really like that Beach Patrol one.
I want to wear all of our stuff. I still need to get the Conflict Manager tank top in neon yellow. And I need to get the shark awareness. You need to get it for anytime you go on vacation. You like to take those exotic vacations to shark death zones.
I think that one would be good on a tank top, too.
Oh, they both would. Yeah, they're both like beach wear. And then obviously the new Sports Tate is up there as well. So be sure to check out. Those are the 3 newest designs we have posted. Again, StephenKyle.com/merch.
We have a lot of designs.
We have a lot of designs. A lot of them have sold 0. Do you want to know a few that have sold? Should we run a sale on the shirts that are on the merch that we've sold 0 of?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
This is going to be a lot more than you thought.
Oh, I bet of the, what do we have, like 25 designs probably?
Oh, man. Let me see if I can pull it up because it does say...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oof. Yeah, well, the newest 4.
Yeah, 27, I think.
Newest 5, we haven't sold any. So yeah, I'll do that. And I'll run a discount, and I'll mention it because we can change the pricing on some of these things. So if you're interested in a special breed of dickhead shirt, you can get yours at a discounted rate.
Which is our only one flagged for mature content.
Yep. The Conflict Manager shirt, that'll be on discount. Sports Tate, Shark Awareness, Steve and Kyle podcast, calling your ears home since 2016.
Oh, that was the billboard.
That was the billboard. The Steve 16 logo. We've sold a Ray Connection. Steve and Kyle.
We have?
Apparently. Steve and Kyle, Calvin Klein. We haven't sold a Drunk Steve shirt.
Oh, the...
Drunk Steve only pukes with his shirt off.
I'm surprised.
So that'll be on discount. Obviously, the most sold is the Stevie Tortellini.
That is a fine-looking shirt.
The Steve and Kyle caricature shirt as well sold a handful. Piano Pal sold a handful. So, yeah, keep an eye on the merch shop, and I'll discount some of that stuff to boost the sales of the worst merch we have to offer.
All right, I think that after a, 3-week, 4-week hiatus?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to it.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Outdated Fast 5. Our apologies to Dan.
Oh, definitely.
Our apologies again to Dan Scheich. We're going to check in with you next week.
Yeah, next week.
This is how it goes. We had everything. We were going to talk about our reviews that we've got. We got a handful of reviews in the last month.
Yep.
We'll get to it next week.
Yeah.
All right, first and foremost, Steve, Jeffrey Epstein.
He,
Wait, did we talk about mine? Did we do mine? Did we talk about Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to be sure.
No, we definitely did.
Okay, Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm surprised at how much he looks like Anthony Bourdain in certain pictures.
This case seems like it's going to feather out and be massive, massive before it's over. Like it's
but
going to include a lot of people.
Repercussions.
No, it's never the way it works. No repercussions. Yeah. Speaking of repercussions, Steve, R. Kelly.
Boy, what's that? Like the third time he's gotten arrested this year?
This is it, though.
You think so?
I think
you think this is finally
They have actual videotape evidence that they can use in federal court. I think R. Kelly is going away for the remainder of his life.
If it's all legit, then yes, he should.
Keeping with the timeliness, Colin Kaepernick.
Let's see. Going back 3 weeks, what did Colin Kaepernick do? Has there been
Nike shoe?
Oh yeah, that's right. With the American flag on it. Mm-hmm. What was the actual? Because it was the Betsy Ross.
The Betsy Ross flag. And Colin Kaepernick went to Nike and said, "Please don't send that shoe. It reflects a time where there was slavery and racial division in the country." Mm-hmm. And Nike obliged.
Yeah,
they changed it. They requested everybody that they had sent the shoes to send them back. I'm sure there are still some kind of bootleg pairs if you search the internet for them. But yeah, he single-handedly stopped the Nike shoe around the 4th of July from being released.
Okay. It's not a surprise that he would do that. He's obviously a very influential figure connected to Nike with that highly successful campaign that they did. Was that last year? Maybe earlier this year? That doesn't surprise me at all.
The next in line was Wimbledon, the Wimbledon final. Did you watch that last week?
Sure didn't. Didn't watch one. Man, there is one thing. Like, there are many sports things that I couldn't care less about, but Wimbledon is pretty high up on the list of things I don't care about.
Oh, come on, Steve. It was a match for the ages. Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, two of the main three men's tennis players that have been ruling the tennis scene for 15 years in a 5-set, just a duel. Absolute duel. The 5th set took more than 2 hours. The match as a whole took 5 hours.
They have any love? 15 love in the game?
So tennis is now the same as horror movies for you?
Tennis much more interesting.
Got a racket and love and headbands.
Yep.
That's what tennis is.
Yeah, Andre Agassi. Images everything.
Just always. Yeah. Always Agassi.
Everyone's got their Rebel cameras.
And lastly, Steve, Amazon Prime Day. Did you get anything this year?
I did not.
You didn't look? What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever found a deal that I actually care about on Prime Day.
The deals aren't that good.
The only thing I got was I got a 50-pack of the little pieces that we need for the bottom of our railing that I'm installing today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't discounted at all. It was just cheaper to get them in a 50-pack online than it was to go to the store.
So you were living wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to show them to you later. Never.
They've influenced the game enough, though, that they... Target was running online-only deals those 2 days, and all retailers were doing the same. When in actuality, the prices were slashed, but Amazon's prices are already slashed pretty far, so that a lot of these deals weren't that great of deals. But hey, man, you say Amazon in sale, and people seem to lose their minds.
Yeah, I mean, perception is reality. If you tell people that they're getting a good deal, they're going to believe that they are.
Before that Wimbledon final, you said you didn't watch. Just an absolute beautiful, the best tennis can offer you.
So McEnroe won
in a 5 McEnroe on commentary. Thank you for mentioning that. 5 match.
Damn,
absolute,
too relevant.
Dynamite showing by both Djokovic and Federer. Considering Federer 37 years old, Djokovic 32. Djokovic pulling it off in a 5th set tie break.
Battle
Steve.
of the sexes. Billie Jean King and the other guy?
Colin Kaepernick. Where do you stand on it? Do you think the shoes should have been removed? Where the Betsy Ross flag as a whole is something that you care about?
I mean, I care about it, but I guess I don't... I wouldn't have thought that was something that would happen.
I'm the same as you. I never looked at that flag as a sign of division.
No.
I looked at that flag as, well, hey, that's our nation's first flag with 13 colonies. So, again, I'm not in his shoes. I'm not in that place to understand what that could mean to me as a person and as a heritage.
Because I haven't gone through what he has gone through, or what a massive amount of people have gone through.
But for me, it's a weird point to take, thinking, well, so is everything from that era, should that now be banned because it was present during a time of slavery and racial division?
Well, yeah, it's the whole slippery slope mentality that a lot of people brought up when statues started being ripped down and things like that, because then it's like, well, it's not part of history that we're proud of, but it's still our history, good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know if this shoe's any more offensive than a American flag tank top with, paint splattered guns out on the front of it, but
yeah.
I mean, again, it's not my place to judge, and obviously Nike agreed and pulled all the shoes from the shelves. So.
I mean, he's a highly influential guy.
Yeah. And before that, R. Kelly, seems like the federal government, it sounds like Chicago may have botched it the last time, and kind of a running theme if you look at botching the R. Kelly investigation and prosecution.
Jussie Smollett.
So the federal government going to take it over, and it seems like they got someone to kind of flip from his camp.
Right, yeah. It was somebody that used to, like a close associate. So there are...
There's videotapes. That was his thing. He would have, and so they had, actually the Dan Le Batard show had a guest on who wrote a book about this whole thing that's been going on for years. This has been known for years. He used to go play pickup basketball at the same gym in Chicago with literally a bag of these videotapes, and you just drop them by the side of the bench while he played basketball. He was willy-nilly with it. He didn't really hide it, and now it's finally, I don't know how it's now finally the comeuppance.
You would think that he would have, I don't know, destroyed them. That being said, glad he didn't, because it's finally coming back to get him, and he's going to be put away. But isn't it crazy when you hear about a criminal who's as stupid as this?
It's unbelievable, right? It's above the law feeling, though, that like, well, they haven't gotten me in 15 years. Why would they get me now?
Why would he, why was he taking these tapes with him to go play pickup basketball?
Unbelievable, right? It's absolutely...
It would be like... I mean, it makes as much sense as like taking a blender with you. Like, what do you need that for if you're going to play pickup?
Yep.
It's just stupid.
It's just that he thinks
like
he's above the law.
Yeah, it's above the law. Like, yeah, I can flaunt this. Who cares? Nobody's going to get me on R. Kelly.
Yeah. And before that, lastly, that kind of died down recently, I think, until he gets sentenced or whatever happens. Jeffrey Epstein, the multi-millionaire and near billionaire, I believe, based out of Miami. A piece came out, I forget what the source was, maybe Vice, last year, about how this sweetheart deal, after he was essentially found and convicted of sex trafficking underage girls, and got a sweetheart deal and didn't serve any jail time, probation at his house. And
his like $70 million estate or something ridiculous.
But apparently it didn't stop, and he remained in trouble and remained entrenched in that world, and was arrested by the federal government last week in a Sunday night raid, and his home apparently rife with evidence that they found, pictures and passports that he was using. So it seems like the Epstein indictment is going to branch out and going to be a thing, because he knew and hobnobbed with a lot of millionaires and billionaires and celebrities, including our current president, including a past president, and Bill Clinton. I will be very, very curious to see how this plays out in the court system, because a lot of dominoes are going to fall with this indictment. So he can't save himself. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, but I think he's going to flip on a lot of people.
Didn't he try to pay because didn't they set a bond at like $1 billion or something ridiculous?
But he has private jets.
Yeah.
Private jets where I've never flown on one, but there's a lot you can do to circumvent customs and passport issues. He could be gone within an hour if you released him from jail. So they did the right thing. They denied him bail and bond, and he is behind bars waiting a trial date and all of that.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're right, though. This screams another case of, the college admissions scandal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey.
Did that go away yet?
I don't know. I think there's sentencing still to be had.
Okay.
The only one who was, holding out was Lori Loughlin.
Yeah. Basically saying, Go ahead. Try
me. But now she's coming around. Now she's like, whoa, wait a minute. I could actually go to jail for this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're like a regular person.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see her out there.
Yeah.
Hollywood itself.
Out in Hollywood.
Yeah, her walking around going, hey, I can go to jail. And then you point and go, hey, celebrities. They're just like us.
She's taking out her garbage.
Fast Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The very dated Fast Five, the Women's World Cup, #1.
Yeah, did you watch any of that? Now you're getting your sports guy, but that's kind of a international event, right?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. I enjoyed watching that, but just a little bit.
Right.
Like I watched some of it on a flight because it just happened to be on like the Delta seat back TV. Watched a little bit of it. I enjoy that, and that was awesome. Good for them. Good for them for using their platform.
You obviously heard all of my takes.
Your hot takes?
On the initial episode of Sports Tate.
I did. I listened to that whole episode.
Oh, boy, you shouldn't have. That had to be torture for you.
No, I enjoyed it. Whew. I actually enjoyed it. Now, because a lot of it was setting up what the podcast is going to be.
Oh, sure.
I took a couple shots at me. Didn't appreciate that too much.
What?
Just wait until something about something Tate coming sometime.
Didn't think you'd listen.
Oh, I listened.
So where are you at? I mean, maybe I can get your thoughts before then. What's your thoughts on, is Russell Westbrook a superstar anymore?
We'll get to that on the turnaround.
That's a reason to tune in.
Next, Stranger Things.
I loved it.
You watched all of it already,
we finished it. Yeah, we finished it last week. Only 8 episodes. Absolutely loved it. Oh, man, I think it might be the best season of the 3.
We're only 1 episode in. We've only watched 1, so I think hopefully we'll watch another 1, maybe 2 today.
It's hard because it's been 18 months. The last one premiered around Halloween of 2017. So it's been, a year and a half. So a lot of you forget, especially when it's a show you binge, where you watch it in...
You could easily watch it in a day.
Yeah.
And then have 18 months to forget about it.
And it's impossible to remember everything.
So we had to watch the little couple-minute recap. But great first episode. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of them.
Yeah, and again, Netflix is... one of, if not the most popular show on Netflix, original content-wise.
After that, I had Earthquakes. Apparently, there were a bunch of them.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Around the time you were out there, wasn't there?
There were like 2 the day before. There were a couple like the days before we got there. Then there was one the day we left, but we didn't. I kind of wanted to feel the earth shake.
Listen, there's only a few possible ways this goes, and I'm basing this on my extensive film knowledge. Either the big one's coming, San Andreas Fault, and the Earth's going to split in 2.
You think?
Or the only other alternative is that massive monsters are coming from the core of the Earth. I'll let you be your own judges. That's it. Okay. I've seen enough films to know that that's the 2 ways this goes. We're going to see kaiju, which are, from... monster movies in Japan. Those they're going to come up from the cracks of the earth. Megalodons are roaming the ocean again from these shakes. Or San Andreas Fault's about to split in half, and the rock's the only one who can save us.
Oh boy, which one could it be?
Either way, not good.
Yeah, not good at all.
That's terrifying. I've never experienced an earthquake.
I like I said, I wanted to feel like I don't want to be out there for the big one.
No, right, but a cup falls off the wall.
I'd like to, feel an aftershock or something. That'd be kind of cool.
It would be. I agree. And of course, we say that, and everybody out in California, what the hell are you talking about?
These things are terrifying.
Yeah,
it costs billions of dollars a day.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I'm like, ooh, I'd ride that ride.
Huh?
Next.
Whoa, I got the wobbles.
Another weather-related one. I guess it was on a weather kick a couple weeks ago, but I don't think it ever became a hurricane, right? Hurricane Barry, it was just it was Tropical Storm.
Tropical Storm Barry, I had that. I switched mine out because it is very dated. Some massive flooding issues, though.
Yeah. When is New Orleans just going to wave the white flag and people are just going to abandon the place?
Well, aren't they? They're one of the cities, coast cities, who they say climate change in 40, 50 years.
Like that.
New Orleans will not exist anymore
Miami,
at this pace.
Right?
Yeah. It will just be, it will fall into the ocean. It will be consumed by the ocean at this rate of climate change if it's not altered dramatically. This is the ultimate kick the can down the road.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be dead in 40 years. I don't care.
Because it's below sea level.
Yes. All of their graves are all above ground for these reasons that bodies could literally wash up if they were buried underground because of the sea level and the way storms and water changes that city's dynamic. People say it's beautiful and majestic and all of that down there, but it smells and when it rains it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
The final one on my list, Dan Le Batard.
Wow, yeah, boy, that thing went viral this week.
Sure did.
So I'm a daily listener of that show, and that's really the only show I listen to daily. I was able to hear that live, and yeah, boy, he really set the internet on fire. And we're in a state now, though, where it's not going to do any good.
No,
both camps who think the send her back chants were okay. They're gonna say the send her back chants are okay.
There's not going to be any repercussions for him from ESPN, are there?
He missed the first hour on Friday.
Did he?
I don't know if that's related. Last time he got into somewhat hot water with ESPN, he was suspended for about a week, and that wasn't politics related. The last time somebody else at ESPN got in trouble for this was Jamel Hill. She was suspended and told to stay off social media for 2 weeks, and she ended up leaving the company. I don't know. I really don't know, and we're entering the time now where I don't know, especially because it's vacation time for sports radio shows. It's kind of the downtime.
Right.
Vacation well could be disguised as...
Is he off? Yeah, is he off because he's suspended, or is he off because he's on vacation?
So we'll see, and they were, ESPN came out very firmly again Friday with the no politics policy, and Le Batard didn't comment. I don't know. There might be something in the pipeline to come for punishment-wise, but nothing he said was wrong. Nothing at all.
No, not at all. Before that, Hurricane Barry or Tropical Storm Barry, whatever it was called.
Yeah. As much as I'd be fascinated to experience a small earthquake, I do not, other side of the coin, I do not want to experience any part of a hurricane.
Oh, God, no.
Like, that seems awful. Hurricane or tornado? No.
I want to be around for a tornado. I want to be able to see
in the vicinity.
I want to see the funnel cloud.
I don't think
out on the plains or something.
If you had to choose, like you had to live through one of these two, hurricane or a tsunami, what do you choose?
Hurricane.
I
remember, because now growing up in New Jersey, we didn't get hurricanes, but we got the
remnants of
them. But I do remember there was one hurricane that made it all the way up the East Coast.
Sure.
And I was a very little kid. I don't remember what year it was, what hurricane it was, but I can remember looking out the back window and just seeing like the swirl. Yeah, the clouds just. It was.
Do you have the windows boarded up? All that stuff, really?
No, very vivid memory of mine. But I couldn't. I was probably 4 at the time. It was maybe Hurricane. Say Gloria.
There's something about a tsunami though, where it's like, hurricane's a lot of rain. This is a never-ending wave that you can't do anything about if you're in the way. So, I think you're definitely right. Hurricane's the way to go if you have to choose.
Let's see. Yeah, it must have been Gloria because that was like 1985.
Okay.
First major storm to affect New York and Long Island directly since Hurricane Donna in 1960. Before that, we had earthquakes. Just kind of talked about that again. Yeah, give me a little earthquake.
Give me a little rattle.
Give me like a 3.5.
And it's hard to tell because, the Richter scale's not on a scale of 10, they say. So it's, you hear 7, you're like, ooh, 7's pretty good. But 7 in actuality is like, well, the first one last week or 2 weeks ago was a 7. And, a lot of people in Los Angeles like, I didn't even feel it.
But and with the Richter scale, too, it's not just like something that's a 6 isn't double what a 3 is.
Sure.
Because it's like they increase exponentially. So like a 1... Like a 2 isn't just double what a 1 is. It's like,
right.
Yeah, it's like, so by the time you get to a 10, it's like 50 times more than what a 3 is.
Yeah, it's a weird scale that they use for that, and people just read that as a 1 to 10, and that's not the way it works. So yeah, a little rattle, a little shake, rattle, and roll would be nice.
Yeah, give me one. Come on, bring it on.
There's still like those videos in the audio from, what was it, the 1989 World Series?
Yeah.
San Diego, right?
San Francisco.
Yeah. And... That's
I remember
crazy.
Watching that. Yeah, I remember watching that live.
That's absolutely unreal to be able to see that. And
Al Michaels.
Yeah,
because I still remember him saying like, I believe we are having an Earth. And then the TV feed cut off. Because I remember sitting there watching the World Series. Wait, was it? That was the World Series, right? It was the World Series, not the All-Star game.
I believe that was the World Series.
Yeah, it was the World Series.
Yeah.
Definitely the World Series. Okay, and before that we had Stranger Things, the Netflix smash hit.
Oh, loved it. And it's part nostalgia. I mean, I wasn't even born in 1985, but it's part nostalgia for the 80s. Part the actors, they're tremendous.
Yeah.
And part the content. I'm a sci-fi and a horror guy, and this really dabbles in that very deeply. So
lots of bats in that show. Things that go bump in the night. Yeah, what was the other one? A ghost? No.
Yeah. A mask?
A mask, that's right.
Bat. And things that go bump in the night.
Bump in the night.
Yeah. And again, tennis. Andre Agassi. Love. Headbands.
Image is everything, man. Image is everything.
Well, you've branded yourself a tennis tournament now, haven't you?
Uh-huh. Yep. And first on my list was the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, cool to see. And we talked about it quite a bit even the weeks before, how the gap seems to be tightening between the U.S. women and the world women as they get a lot better at soccer. And the U.S. is still good, but you can see the scores this year in the World Cup kind of show that it's going to be closer.
All right. Another one in the books. Episode 100.
Eesh. 100 too many. Safe to say, we're
Some
closer,
would say that.
Closer to the end than the start of this podcast,
You think?
right?
Well, I mean, if we're ending in December, then yes.
much
We're
closer.
Much closer.
Enjoy these last 20 episodes. They will be as ridden with nonsense as this one was.
All right, please leave your reviews everywhere you listen to the podcast. Questions, comments, concerns, 42430-SK-POD. That's 424-307-5763. You can leave a message. You can text us, whatever you want to do. At Steve N. Kyle on all social media. Well, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We don't do I think we still have a Snapchat, don't we?
Yeah, I've been logged into it in a year and a half. But yeah, and hashtag rate my take. Any take you have that you would deem hot, I will rate it on an upcoming episode of Sports Tate.
So you got Sports Tate hopefully coming this Friday.
Friday. Check the podcast feed.
Friday, the 26th or so, 27th maybe of July.
Yep.
All right. Keep a lookout for that. We'll talk to you next week.